Warning, this show contains adult language, so viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life raw. Today's episode 171 or 172. Oh my God, it's my birthday party, so I'm a little out of it today, but today's episode, whether it's 171 or 172, we're bringing you guys a bunch of things that save the planet, save your pocket, a lot of practices that we use daily throughout our lives, and I think that's a lot about what the show is about, is how can we improve quality of life, save money, and save the planet, everything. And today's just like a bunch of different things like household items, cleaners, and things like that we wanted to talk about. That's so much cheaper, so much healthier. And really, a lot of you may be thinking that they're just really hard to do, or maybe it's extra work that you have to do. They're really simple. And a lot of these things, if you invest in some of these machineries and these ingredients and like essential oils and things like that, we've got a lot of tips for you today. You're going to save a lot of money, really. I mean, you're going to make, for instance, a half a gallon of a disinfectant cleaner for like 50 cents. It's the ROI, the payback is going to be immense, and it's great for the planet and great for your health and everything else. So when I say we too, it's the Mama Strega. It is my birthday, as I said. We're planning on we're not planning. We're partying and eating foods and stuff like that. So I'm taking a little break from it. Going to continue giving you guys the show on our schedule, which is Tuesday through Thursday. So without further ado, here's me and the Mama Strega, my mom, and we're just going to talk about how to save you guys money and help save the planet. Na zdrowie? Well, it's my pre-birthday. I think this is going to last probably too long.
Probably till your next birthday.
Oh, the debauchery.
The best part is I don't even remember how old you are.
I know, neither do I.
You're just old.
I'm old as fuck.
Yep,
gray.
Yep. Good thing I'm not getting older.
Well, what's not getting old is saving the planet.
That's right. One good deed at a time.
All right, so we're here today to share with you guys the ways to save money and your planet at the same time. And we got lots of good stuff for you today. I've got lots of things like cleaning supplies that I make myself, the way we cook. I think you've got a lot of stuff the way you cook. And by the way, this is the Strega, the illustrious, the notorious, the grandiose of all of it.
Keep going.
And that's all I got, man. Hold on, let me read the notes that people sent me.
Yeah, right.
They told me to say it. Let me see.
Yeah. And I paid them to tell you to say it.
I'll start off on one. I think this was very common for lots of people, but I don't really see very many people walking around like I am with a glass jar with a plastic lid with a hole screwed in it and a stainless steel straw. How much plastic bottles, and it tastes like shit.
Yeah.
Once the water is just sitting there heated, and it's scientifically proven if you need that there's chemicals in that stuff. So for one way for me to save money is, for one, using a gravity-fed filtration system, which is perfect because for preparing in times of catastrophes or whatever, it's gravity-fed. There's no moving parts. You just fill it up. It's all stainless steel. I have it for the rest of my life. And that water gets purified. On the bottom, I actually found some stones from an unpolluted area of the ocean, supposedly. That's supposed to remineralize the water.
That's Japanese, right?
I have no idea.
I remember reading about that years ago.
I don't know. I just own this shit. Oh, this is a Potty Mouth podcast too, by the way.
What's the name of your the brand of your?
I don't give any because they need to sponsor me. No, no, there's many of them out there. I don't know. There's different types.
Because the one I had was a Nikin.
There's Nikin
and it had this ceramic. Yeah, I look into those though. Man, they're worth their weight in gold.
And you want to make sure, most of them I think do. It's called NSF. I can't remember, National Sanitation Federation or some shit like that, where it's supposed to be food friendly.
I thought in Star Wars they got done away with. Yoda just didn't get out as much as he said he did. Liar.
Well, they have different size ones too that you could take camping. So
yeah.
For people who probably don't know, you could literally take these things and you can scoop water out of a swimming pool, out of a pond or river, anywhere. You can't do salt water, but you can get water literally anywhere, and it's 99.9% supposedly said that against Giardia, bacteria, and stuff like that.
There's also another thing if you're RV living and stuff, and even if you aren't, I found to be a good money saver in terms of water is having the tankless water heater, so heat on demand, and it can be run, they have them down to like 3 gallons. You can put them in an RV,
Oh, yeah.
you know, for your hot showers and stuff, and heat on demand. So you've got a large propane tank, you got that, you can take it, it's portable, completely portable. You can build an outdoor shower if you land somewhere, and they make them larger, and I had one in my trailer, and I really liked it. Because that way you're not constantly heating that water.
Yep. They got them for you had one in your house in Oregon, I remember.
Yeah, but I'm saying I had it we're talking about like bug out stuff, like that's what I said, even if you don't live in a trailer or whatever, or camping, it's a good thing to think about, tankless water heater.
I've got a 4-inch ABS plastic pipe. ABS is the type of stuff they use for drains in the bottom of houses. It's black. It's not, I wouldn't say it's non-toxic though, but that sits on top of the camper. And for those of you watching, that's what we're recording. This thing is in the truck again. But on top of my camper, I have about 20 gallons of water that gets heated by the sun. And it's all gravity fed because it's up on the roof. And that comes down, and that thing's it's lightweight. You could take it off, but I don't think it's going to last very, very long if we're using it full time.
Yeah, but just the exposure to the sun alone.
Speaking of the plastics, though, what I like about my drinking jar, though, is that if I forget my jar of water in my truck, and it sits and gets all hot, next morning it's all cooled down. It tastes just the same as it did the day before. It doesn't taste all plasticky and icky, yucky stuff.
Well, one of the things I've learned through Ayurveda, which is an ancient, thousands of years old ancient method of living, eating, it's just beautiful stuff, but one of the things is to treat water with respect. And so they use copper. They've been using copper for, again, thousands of years to purify water and keep water in. So I tested it. I got a beautiful copper pitcher, and the water's just from the tap and run through just a Brita for my situation right now. It just runs through a Brita, but I put it in there, and you put a flower by it, and it's basically like a little prayer in a weird way. It's a ritual, whatever you want to call it. I don't do all that stuff, but you can, and I'm telling you what, that water is it's charged.
Yeah.
It's charged.
No, we haven't talked about that. You said you had it. You had it for about 2 weeks now or so, huh?
I've had it for about a month, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful system. And they also sell like what I have is a pitcher with a bowl on top, but they also sell them, the flasks.
Yeah.
So you take them with you on the go and stuff.
And all copper, huh?
Yeah, solid copper.
I know cooking with copper is not supposed to be good. It's supposed to emit some toxins or some shit, like a pure copper pot.
If I had my choice in a cooking pot, it'd be a ceramic pot. Made by hand ceramic. I've been looking at into a lot of Asian cooking, and they cook over fire in their handmade ceramic pots with the lid. Oh my God, I would totally do that.
Well, what's the difference between the ceramic and like cast iron then? What's the ceramic deal?
One is metal and very heavy. The other is lighter and made of clay.
Duh.
I thought you were asking my professional opinion.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What's the difference?
What's the whole purpose of the ceramics, like on the outside? Well, you could just use a regular.
It's not on the outside. It's solid clay.
Oh, it's solid.
Solid clay, and only the inside is glazed. And a lot of them, the inside isn't glazed.
Yeah.
So the pot breathes. Like old style cooking with natural dishes, like in Japan, they use a lot of bamboo, for example, like sushi rice. So cool. They've got this gorgeous bamboo bowl. You put your sushi rice in there to cool.
Yeah.
And since the rice is the key in sushi, if the rice is overcooked or undercooked, or if it's like too warm, or you don't want it, you want room temperature. So they lay it out on the bamboo, and the bamboo draws the moisture and the heat out, and the rice is like perfect. And they've been doing it for a long ass time. So.
Interesting.
So cooking in natural vessels, like I am also into wearing natural fibers, cotton and silk and wool and this and that. It makes your body feel entirely different. It transfers your energy entirely different. It's the same thing with cooking. Transfers the energy entirely different. Cooking with wood spoons, bamboo spoons.
Oh yeah.
All these things. And the thing is they will last forever, generations. I have a wood spoon that was my mom's when she was a teenager, and she passed away when she was 94, 5 years ago, and I'm still using it.
What about if you drop the ceramics? Are they like clay pots? They'll break. Yeah. Well, same thing with a cast iron. I think if you drop it the right type place, it's going to crack.
And if it doesn't crack, whatever it fell on will definitely crack.
Well, I have that on my notes here is like dishes. Like most people buy plastics and all this shit. I'm like, I bought those plastic, I bought plastic. I bought stainless steel plates in those bowls. Yeah. It's like cookware, but they're thinner and made for me. We cut steaks and meat over them and everything, and they're scratching from the knives I can see, so it's probably not too wise to do that. But for the most part, those things will last forever.
Well, and the nice thing is you can sterilize them.
Yeah.
Even if they got buried in something or whatever, you can pull them out and sterilize them.
I would say in an emergency situation too, if you wanted to heat your food, you can kind of put it over some coals or something up on higher. So unlike most other things, it's going to melt or blacken and you can't get it off. You can actually...
Well, the one thing I will say in defense of plastic is if you're backpacking or you're carrying, everything is in a pack, you know, having a cast iron, I was going to say in Russian, a frying pan and stainless steel dishes, every ounce counts. And so that is the only time when I'm like, I like the plastic for that, but also like a wood bowl, a plate bowl, just one per person. A plate bowl is my favorite.
Pretty lightweight.
That's what I'm saying. If you had one stainless steel plate bowl, so you've got a bowl for soups and stuff, but you also still have that plate if you needed it for cutting stuff in or whatever. To me, I'm just sold on that idea.
What do you do for like cutting boards and stuff like that? I never really researched too much. I maintenance everything else.
Yeah.
But I think you're supposed to oil them every once in a while so they don't crack. Like my bamboo cutting boards are starting to split, but I think it's because certain people washed it, didn't dry it off. But anyway,
well, it's not just important. You don't. First of all, wood and water don't like each other. I always tell everybody wood and water don't like each other, so don't soak anything. You can wet it and let it sit. Like for example, I have a beautiful Russian wood spoon, hand carved. And you have soup or whatever. If stuff dries on it, I just wet it and then let it sit for a little bit so it softens whatever it has on it. But you don't want to soak any of that in water, and especially your cutting board. Second is dry it instantly after you wash it, and then hang it so the air circulates around it. Or lean it. Don't just put it flat on any surface. Make sure the air is circulating around it.
That's what I do with mine.
Yeah, but I mean that's another place. I know I don't like plastic, but man, those roll up cutting boards.
We're trying to get rid of plastic.
The backpack. I know.
You're fucking this whole thing up,
We're talking about reduction in cost, though, too.
Why did I bring you on the show?
Because I'm amazing. I mean, like,
well, besides the obvious
again.
Jeez. God, it's simple minds here where we try to keep up. Well, I got on my list here wok cooking. Those are hand hammered steel. I don't think some of them. I guess they're just regular. Carbon steel, so they're not stainless steel, but you have to oil them, and I oil the shit out of mine, but man, the versatility of those things, you can use as a shield, you can club somebody over the head with it, you can put it over somebody's face, you can use it as a toilet, somebody's ugly as fuck, you can just put it right over their face, and you don't have to listen to them anymore or see them, you know.
Put it straight over your head, and ding, 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 if you just want to escape, you know.
Yeah, you can use it as a bedpan.
Yeah, see?
Bedpan, and so you can defend yourself. But no, the cooking versatility is you can use it as this big old giant soup pot.
Oh, yeah.
They got the lids on them, a deep fryer, it's just all kinds of stuff. That thing is versatile. And those things you'll have for the rest of your life, they say.
And besides that, because the ones I like the best come down to a point in the bottom. They don't have that flat bottom. Yeah. Because of that, you use so little oil. Like when I make sushi, and I want to just like I do vegan stuff, and if I wanted to do, like mushrooms to tempura fry, but I'm just making sushi for myself, so that's like 2 rolls maybe, so all I need is 3 of them. I can put that tiniest amount of oil in that, even tip it a little bit, and fry those up and done. Whereas like a deep fryer, you have to put all that oil in, and then you have to clean all that oil. And that's another thing I've been researching too, and how to clean the oil so you can use it for 3 to 4 shots.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I've been just using mine over and over again. I keep it in the fridge though. Well,
but when you fry, because I was doing tempura fried stuff, those little crispies get at the bottom. Yeah. So it's just filtering it out is all I'm saying. And then filtering it out and then adding some clean to it. So I get a lot of miles out of my oil. I don't use very much, and I get a lot of miles out of it.
You know what I like too? I've tried a little bit. I think you've had more experience with it. It's not even cooking with oil, just cooking with broth.
Oh yeah,
or just water in the wok, and you can steam. So the people who want to eat healthier.
But that's what I'm saying though, is I do eat healthy, but like I love my I was eating like sushi 2-3 times a week, vegan sushi, And so just those couple pieces of the deep fried stuff, everything else is raw.
Mhm.
You know, all my veggies and lots of avocado and all that. I do roasted stuff or, you know, but most of the veggies are raw. So that little bit of a deep fried, I'm not talking about deep fried, everything, you eat it all the time, even though it's delicious.
Mhm.
But, you know, it depends on what you like eating. You know, I've deep fried oyster mushrooms, tempura battered and deep fried. So, yeah, the wok is fantastic. I have one, by the way. I didn't know if you know I got one.
The wok?
Uh-huh. Jess had an old one.
It's
My
not as
daughter
good
had
as
one.
mine.
Never, ever.
Nope, mine's better.
Daughter was throwing it away, and I was like, I'll
What?
take that. Yeah,
Oh,
she got
shit.
a new one. She got a new one, so she was like, she got it as a gift, so she was like, I have an old one, I don't want it. And I saw it sitting outside, I was like, I'll take that.
Was it all rusted up?
No.
No. Score?
Yeah, that's another way to save money, too. Other people's trash is your treasure.
Yeah, I keep mine in a glass mason jar, just like my water bottle, my oil. And then I just put a little, I would say if people were looking for recommendations, don't buy those cheap little plastic BPA-free lids because they crack. Just now.
For the canning jars you're talking
For
about.
canning jars, yeah.
Yeah.
I just gave up because they get little splits in them. They fall on their side because I put a lot of my stuff in the back of my truck for work, like fresh raw vegetable juices. I make oatmeals and stuff like that, and stuff will fall over, it'll spill. So invest in, I would say, the stainless steel lids. They're more expensive, maybe twice as much as the plastic, but they come with a little silicone gasket. And then everything could lay on the side. You could sterilize those. You'll have them for the rest of your life until you know, the lids, unless you run over them with a car or
Well, that's also another way to save money is don't use a dishwasher.
yeah.
Dishwashers are such a waste of heat. Most people, I'm sure, know that by now. Waste of soap, waste of water, waste of energy to heat that water. Although they do sterilize things, that's cool.
Yeah.
But things like your lids, if you throw those in the dishwasher and it uses the heating element, that wears plastics out a lot faster.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Just like drying your clothes in the dryer.
Yep.
Hang your clothes. I don't even have that one on the list. Hang your clothes up in the sun. They smell better. They may be not as soft, but just shake them a little bit. And
Yeah.
I make a lot of my own cleaning solutions.
Yeah, me too.
Going on the road, for those who've been following what I do, is I go on the road with my kids for like 2-3 months out of the year, and we go very rural, and some places there's no water, so we have to take showers, so we keep our tidies clean. So basically what we do is we use baby wipes and a spray, and the spray consists of baby castile soap made by Dr. Bronner's. And so we'll do I'd say about 2 cups of water in a little spray bottle, and then we'll add in about maybe 20 drops of tea tree oil, and then we'll use about a tablespoon of the baby soap. This baby soap, I guess the difference is not so sudsy and it to burn their eyes and things like that. It's a lot more gentle. So on the genitalia, like my special needs daughter, I have to clean her all the time, changing diapers. So we make it to where it's just barely, when you fill it up, you should just see just barely a little bit of foam on the top. And test it out on yourself. Maybe you can spray it on, I don't know, wipe some on your mouth a little bit and make sure it doesn't like really sting, like burn. Because if you're using it for genitalia, it's not a very good thing to have, but
I say go straight for the genitalia.
just go straight, yeah. So
On
take
your own,
your pants down.
on your own. You might like it.
Disclaimers on this show.
And no, we're not supported by Dr. Bronner.
Yeah, that's
So would you call that like an emergency body wash then?
Yeah, that's exactly what we use for our armpits and our
But I'm saying,
genitalia and our
but
feet.
you use it regularly?
I use it regularly.
For your daughter.
Yeah.
To change her. So, if you got kids in diapers,
Or elderly.
it's a good, or
I
elderly,
plan on using it on you when you get super old and
Let's go
wrinkly.
check the genitalia right
You know,
now.
I got
and
a
see if
bug
it works.
sprayer and we'll just
In that
spray.
case, throw some chili juice in that stuff. I like a little bit.
I was going to do a little cinnamon and give you a little pepper, like some spice to you, but, since you said chili pepper, fuck
The
it.
listeners are probably going, oh, gross, too much information. Hey, you got to have fun.
Well, my next one, there's the diaper spray, and then also a disinfectant spray, and my disinfectant spray is almost the same thing. I use products before. The ingredients I'll give you first, and I'll add the last one in, and I'll tell you why. It's basically it's about, I would say, 5 cups of water, just regular old water, nothing fancy. Then you're going to put in about a cup of some cheap, the strongest proof vodka you can find. I buy the cheapest stuff out there, like 80 proof or something. Put about a cup of vodka in there. Put about half a cup of, what's that disinfectant spray? Peroxide. peroxide in there. You're going to add in about another cup of white vinegar. And then
You're
let me
talking about
see.
white distilled vinegar?
White distilled vinegar. And what else do I put in there?
Rubbing alcohol or no?
No, I don't use any rubbing alcohol. I think that was it. Is so the other thing we're going to do too is you could use lavender oil for a smell, but I think the lavender oil, memory serves me correctly, is antibacterial.
Antiviral, antibacterial, antiseptic.
And then a very extreme one is buy the cheap stuff, the lemon oil. I don't buy the essential oils. I first started out with essential oils, and those are expensive. And I found on Amazon and stuff like that, you could buy like a big old giant plastic bottle of just, it doesn't have to be organic for using it for sanitation.
It really is nice if you do that, though. The energy it evokes out of your living space, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
The quality. And the thing is, the cheap stuff, in time, you buy that big old jug, it'll lose its smell. It'll start to change. Yeah. You get an actual essential oil, you can, 10 years later, especially if it's a really good pure one, 10 years later, it'll still have the exact same. In fact, it gets stronger.
Oh, yeah, it gets better, like wine,
and you need a drop. Like, so let's say Young Living is my favorite. When I was a massage therapist for aromatherapy, Young Living oils were my favorite. They were the purest oils I could find at the time. I don't know, there might be other companies now, but I know Young Living is still there, but they're worth the price.
Yeah.
The quality of the oil, it's an energy you're putting into what you're cleaning. You're putting an energy into it. And so I hardly suggest, if you can afford it, go with the good quality essential oils. The way I make my stuff, and it's not antiseptic per se, but is just orange peels, tangerine peels, grapefruit peels, any citrus peelings. Put them in. I use an empty vodka bottle, glass bottle. I put fill it up completely, fill it with distilled vinegar, and seal it up. Let it sit for about 2 weeks, and it draws the oils out, and now you've got a general cleaner.
Yeah.
But you can also add essential oils to that. And another thing is, you don't have to even. We're talking bug out stuff here. Is in order to make your own distilled vinegar, to do this is take all the orange peels and then put them in sugar water, and what will happen is it will ferment and become your own vinegar, and as time goes by, it'll be that beautiful, nice, clean vinegar.
Does it get you buzzed if you drink it?
I only tried on my genitalia, sorry.
All right, one of you is going to tell you after this.
Hey guys.
The one thing I learned, and I've never seen this anywhere else or explained this way, is like being a gardener, when you mix like neem oil, and mix your own for your garden. That's one I didn't put in there. Mix your own stuff to spray your pesticides. But neem oil, when you put it with water, it floats. It's an oil, so it floats at the top. One thing I've learned in the garden is that, and also your plants have a waxy surface, so when you spray them with, say, just neem oil and water, it just kind of beads right off of it. So, but also in the water and the neem oil, they both separate. So you want the soap actually emulsifies it. So if you put the soap in there, and there's different levels of this. If you're using this as a cleaner, disinfectant cleaner, you want to put probably a lot more than you would for a bug spray. But you put enough soap in there and you shake it, and that actually kind of dissolves the oil. For those of you who don't know what emulsified means, and it basically makes it all mixed together and kind of float a little bit more better.
It forces it to congeal as
the
a
water
solid.
And everything just becomes a solid.
Yeah,
but it also acts functions too, because if you're using it as just a disinfectant spray, because I use mine on my barbecue, my kitchen top and everything, it was beautiful. Sometimes I'm changing a diaper, I'll spray my hands if I'm in a hurry. So it smells good with the lemon and everything, but the soap actually turns into a degreaser too sometimes, and you can actually clean and disinfect at the same time.
Yeah.
So I thought that was something really good that I've learned just recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. Another good one for furniture, straight up olive oil. Cheap olive oil is one of the best wood furniture polishes and scratch remover.
I didn't know that.
And cheap. And you can add lemon, like we were talking about, or either the essential lemon oil or the cheap stuff you were talking about for that lemon fragrance, if you like that fragrance. And again, it has color in it. So what I did is I was looking at, I don't know, I'm sure people know about Old English scratch remover oil. It's expensive. They have one for lighter wood and they have one for darker wood. So I use regular olive oil as the light wood, and then I was like, I wonder if this will work. I got some cheap black food coloring.
Yeah.
And I put it in with the olive oil and just kept mixing it with my finger and putting it into some dark mahogany woods, walnut, real dark antique woods. Just put it right in the where the cracks and the gouges and everything were with the black coloring, and it just took it right out. And then I just buff everything out, and it looks great. It's so much cheaper because you can find cheap olive oil at like dollar stores and things like that. So I thought that was a really good tip on cleaning.
That's a really good one. Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, all these new things. That one, and then like what I was sharing with you is grapefruit has a grapefruit peel has a very thick pith on it. Yeah. You take a chunk of that and you use it like a scouring pad. Yeah. And it releases the oil of the grapefruit, and it will actually scrub like your tub, your sinks, anything.
Ooh, I've got one to attack the medical system. Because I like to talk shit about the systems. My dog is grapeseed. When you just said that, grapeseed oil. My dog I took to a vet. They said it possibly is airborne food or allergies in the air. There's food allergies. She had basically spots coming, and her hair was falling out, and there was these red almost blisters, like heat spots. Yeah, I mean, it looked like it was painful.
She looked miserable.
And she started to get them all up, the size of like a grapefruit, like big, like 6-inch diameter stuff. So we tried all this different shit, and supposedly from what the medical society says is none of these holistic things are medicine. They don't work. You need medications. Well, they fucked up and couldn't get anything done for my dog. Get her off chicken, start doing this, start doing that. We tried everything we could, and lo and behold, and nobody ever told me to try grapeseed oil. I just one day was like, I was trying essential oils, and then
you tried
put it on her.
You tried like apple cider vinegar.
I tried apple cider vinegar because that's what I use for my foot fungus if I get it. Violet, my special needs daughter, she gets foot fungus really easy, so we use that and it's gone. I tried that, but just this is, I guess what I'm inspired is that just start experimenting with shit, and I just happened by chance, maybe something intuitively, who knows, but there's no intuitiveness, right?
It's all
we can prove this stuff.
They have pills for that.
And they have pills for that. So beyond the intuitiveness, using this stuff actually worked and cured my dog. So if your dog has hair falling out and these
we're talking an aging dog.
She had it when she was younger too. I remember off and on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, not really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, cleared everything up. Grape seed oil.
Which is also, it's an inexpensive oil to cook with as well.
Yeah.
Asian markets are really big on carrying it for very little money. You know what got me is rapeseed oil.
Rapeseed, I heard that.
I'm like, am I reading this wrong?
Yeah.
A rape seed. Okay. Interesting choice of
Did they get a bunch of rapers and get their seed and then they put it into a lotion?
I was like, of all names to pick.
Only in America. Well, I've got some stuff on here. Do you have anything you want to talk about, like fooding?
Yeah, we're talking about wanting to lower the cost of living. One of the biggest gripes in the United States of America and in Western society is health insurance.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm big into and have been for decades, into Ayurvedic medicine, which is thousands of years old, very intuitive medicine. And it's all about preventative stuff and connectedness with your body. So basically, it's being connected to the degree where you eat what your body tells you it needs and wants, or don't eat. There are different methods. They've been doing intermittent fasting for thousands of years.
I've been doing intermittent fasting for, I think we're going on 3 years now.
It's only in the white world, or American medicine, let's just say Western medicine finds it and gives it a new name. We got this thing called intermittent fasting. They've been doing it in Ayurveda. So basically what I'm trying to say is look into it if you get a chance. There's some videos on YouTube, books, whatever, but look into it. There is some beautiful, beautiful stuff in there that will connect you with your body. You want to save some money, like we were talking earlier about a family friend who stands to inherit a lot of property and things when his parents pass away. But you know what? If his parents haven't been taking care of themselves, and they haven't, and they end up in elder care, it could be that all that property, I've seen it happen, all that property gets sold, and all that money gets spent on them just to prolong their very sick life. Like, how sad is that?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't you rather spend that money now while you're alive and well and take care of yourself and not have to go through that?
And you'd be taking medicine, pills, or shots and stuff like that, whereas all you have to do is eat healthy foods that taste good. So you're getting a good meal. It tastes wonderful. it's good for the planet and good for you.
Yeah.
And
it's learning about herbs and healing herbs and spices and things like that. Like a lot of people know about like Indian food or Eastern food, Middle Eastern food. All these have these different spices and herbs in them, and it's like, oh, it's just so good. It tastes so good. But what you don't know, if you don't know, is that most of it was an intuitive addition to the diet as medicine. So it's like your food should be your medicine, your food. It tastes delicious and amazing, and at the same time, it's protecting you and building your
bullshit. Medical, we have everything set for medical. That's why they're already expecting that the cancer rate is supposed to double or triple. No, we have this down. The system and science has it down.
Yeah, that's why.
And we're going to have about. I heard something that was like a $20 billion industry as the cancer. They're expecting it to triple by the end of
easily.
I think 2025 or something. So no. There's holistic bullshit.
Just to drop this marble in the bucket that will ring rather loudly is in southern India. There are areas of southern India where they use neem and turmeric, because neem grows. It's a tree that grows local for them, like all spices and everything grow
tropics.
Amazing in southern India, yeah. And but there are a lot of things. It's not just about tropics. There are a lot of things that originated there and only there. But anyway, they've been using the neem and the turmeric through the whole COVID-19. We're talking 0 cases of COVID in these areas, all these surrounding villages, and these are hundreds of thousands of people in rural villages. So just talking about the power of Ayurveda, the power of preventative medicine, the power of using herbs and stuff. So when we talk about saving money, wanting to, improve the quality of your life, that's a big one to me. That's huge.
Ooh, I want to put one in here. I heard on a podcast, this is not my own thoughts, but somebody was saying about holistics, about eating, using Ayurveda and using essential oils and eating certain foods. Where the doctor said, this has nothing to do, this is not going to cure your illness, okay? You need medication. We know what's best.
Basically, weren't they saying it just does nothing?
It does nothing. Now, very interesting, and it's just happened to me, and I've never thought about it this way. The moment, let's say you have a heart attack or something, and you need to have open heart surgery, they're going to ask you, what medications are you on? Oh, I'm on aspirins. Okay, stop taking the aspirins. What foods are you eating? Oh, I'm on essential oils and taking vitamins, magnesium. Oh, you need half the magnesium. And you need to stop taking the lavender oil, and you need to stop drinking mint tea, and do it because it's a blood thinner, and stop eating garlic. All this suddenly, magically, when you got to get a fucking operation, and it's completely reversed, and we're sitting here, including me, with the mud flap pulled over my butthole, where you're going, excuse me, what? So all of a sudden, magically, these things have something to do with improvement, or at least it affects your body. So I thought that was really fucking interesting. So for people who want to debate it, that's not what we're here to do, is fight. But I just thought that was really, really interesting.
Well, that's that's to me is a badge of an award right there for a Western medicine doctor. And I'm sure they're doing the best they can with what they know. But that is interesting that Western medicine itself has now recognized that these things have powerful qualities, because every pharmaceutical came from some natural source. Isolated compounds, whatever. Native Americans used to use like willow bark, for example, for pain. Yeah. And that's the original place where aspirin started. You got digitalis comes from plants. So if you're unaware of this, look it up. It's pretty fascinating as well what plants can do, how powerful they are, and foods together. And then you start mixing the spices and the herbs and everything together, and what you've got is this potent recipe for good health that tastes delicious and is usually pretty inexpensive too.
No, this is kind of off subject, I think, but kind of off the spur, which we went on. But didn't Ayurveda or Sadhguru stuff, they were teaching stuff in major universities like Berkeley or something? What was that?
No, that's Harvard. Harvard now has an accreditation. You can get accredited as a yoga teacher at Harvard.
Yoga, that's what it was.
They have an actual, but see, Ayurveda is part of the yogic experience. Yogic lifestyle, yoga in itself means inclusiveness, and it means I can't remember the exact word, but it's like that. It means all inclusive, all encompassing. So yoga is not cute little pants at a park, it's about everything you do, everything you say, how you sit, how you walk, how you talk, what you eat, how you live. It's all about spiritually empowering yourself. Let's just put it that way.
Which has no effect on anything like garlic or essential oils or, meditation and all those other things. But let's bring us back on track. We're talking about spices, and we want to save the planet, and we want to save you guys money. What is those little baggies called? I just want to say, I went to the store the other day because I got the Ninja Foodie thing, this pressure cooker thing, and I needed a bunch of spices, and I went over and bought like McCormick's and all that. It's like $8 for like a small little glass jar of oregano. But if you ask somebody and you go around to I think it's our lovely Hispanic community that has the little bags. It's yellow and red.
Yeah.
And they have a giant bag for like $1. Right. Of dehydrated whatever you want. The
quality is different, though.
Turmeric and it is that bad?
McCormick in glass will maintain its potency longer because it hasn't been because plastic breathes.
Oh yeah.
But they still taste good.
Well, take them and put them in fucking jars.
Just so you know, though, there's Mexican oregano and Italian oregano, Mediterranean oregano. They're different.
Isn't there a bunch of different types?
Probably more than that.
Like French and
but that's where I get my stuff. My granulated garlic. As I told you, when I cook, I use the granulated garlic as my thickener. Instead of flour and stuff. I like that thick garlic.
It's not only cheaper, but you get twice the amount. But you're saying the quality is not quite there.
Yeah, it's different. The cinnamon, for example, I got the stick cinnamon because I use the mortar and pestle to do my herbs and stuff, and I got the stick cinnamon to the at the Hispanic store, and I just use a shit ton of it, and you can barely taste any cinnamon or anything. Whereas if you get the real cinnamon, grind that stuff up, oh my God, a little tiny piece, and it's just cinnamon.
Well, let's talk about your mortar and pesto. Like, what else? What do you exactly? I think this is a forgotten tool, a forgotten appliance, basically.
Well, certainly in America, but in Asian cooking, actually all over the world, a mortar and pestle of all sizes. You look in Africa and in South America and places like that, they've got a huge wood mortar with a giant club of a pestle, and they'll grind grains to make flour out of it. They'll even have two people just hitting, at the same time, all the way up to a little tiny one for, herbs and stuff.
See that dog with the ball in its mouth? Whatever.
But my mortar and pestle, I look at it, mine's a smaller, like a medium size, and it's made out of marble, so it's very heavy, and I use it in place of a food processor.
So it's basically a stone bowl or a bowl of some sort with a club.
Yeah, with a masher.
Beat somebody with, or
poke your eye out if you
poke your eye out. Yeah, point at stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop right there because my mind's just kind of going all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
But I love it. I really love it. I use it for like ginger. I make ginger and garlic paste and store that in the fridge to cook with because I'm cook for only one person. So when I buy a whole bunch of garlic or a whole bunch of ginger, they force me to buy a bunch at one time. I don't want it to go bad. So
yeah. So that's really, and that's something that'll last a long time.
Oh, lifetimes.
Yeah.
Lifetimes, and they're not expensive.
That's the one thing I would say is don't buy cheap shit. That's probably the biggest one out of all of this. Is that I think that most people are fooled is the Walmarts and Bi-Marts and the Buy and Larges and the dollar stores is like all this stuff's cheap, but you're gonna keep buying it over and over again.
However, and this is a whole different lifestyle. So in traveling a lot, I'll go to the dollar store and get some of the kitchen things, the things I need now.
How dare you?
Like I have one really good quality knife, but I'll buy the cheap ass knives and cheap shit for the moment because I don't know where I'm going to end up. Yeah. I've already done that where I thought I was staying somewhere and that I was settled, and then I have to move and I can't take it with me. I have nowhere to store it. So I will say that I have done that in the past, and a lot of that stuff lasts a lot longer than I thought it would. Well, they've got some good quality stuff sometimes at Walmarts and dollar stores.
Oh yeah, I bought a Winchester pocket knife that had like 3 bolts that fell out of it, and I had that thing for like 15 years before I lost it.
So you got it cheaper?
It was a cheap $10 knife.
Yeah, like Walmart or something? Yeah.
Winchester little flip knife.
Yeah, so some things it's worth it to buy the less expensive. Like I shop at thrift stores all the time. I don't buy brand new stuff. Very, very rarely. I mean, I draw a line in underwear, right? Buy that new. But everything else, pretty much.
I've been buying mine from the thrift store.
I just stopped wearing them, and that way, you don't have to worry about it.
Talk about really minimal.
No, but like thrift stores, you can find stuff that still has tags on it.
Oh, yeah.
For clothing and dishes. pots and pans, lids, silverware. Like, I'm just saying, if you're
yeah.
living this lifestyle I'm living, where it's nomadic, and you never know, where you're going to end up, and so you're living out of your car or whatever. I've been in so many different situations, landlocked boats and in garages, and, so if you don't know what you're doing, like, you don't want to go out and spend money on a brand new something, and then you got to get rid of it, and then get another one the next place you go to. So it's kind of like know your situation and learn. I've never bought, before I lived like this, everything was quality. I never bought anything unless it was quality. So consequently, what happened is I was trying with everything I had in me to haul all this stuff with me because it had so much value. I mean, I had thermal cookware and, like really expensive knives, cooking knives and things. And in time, I had no way to keep them. So time and place for everything.
Yep, time and place. That's, I'm going to say one on here that's going to sound very weird, and it's not to save the planet, to go the other way of using the paper. I think I've spoke about this before, the paper bowl and paper plate. Now, I'm not going to go so far as using plastic utensils, because you can clean a fork in minutes, but seconds. But I actually use the dirtiness and suckiness of paper plates and plastic plates and stuff like that when I'm working to get out of here. And that's part of like my life right now is I know that I can't do everything, all these things that we're talking about, that maybe to me, I think conscientious people like ourselves, who when our family would drive behind a truck that's full of trees, it was like a funeral procession, we're like, oh my God, it's a funeral. There's live things that have been killed. Most people don't see it that way, but the people who do, I think it really hurts your heart and your mind to go and like, what am I doing? I'm using paper bowls, paper plates, and paper towels to clean surfaces and everything, but I'm working my ass off. And it's a weird concept of mine. I'm not saying everybody should adhere to it or anything, but for me it works, is that I'm working to utilize money to get off this system for good forever. Not just for a time being, like for a month or 2 months and think things are cute. No, I want to work and get out of here. Like, I want banana leaves every day for my bowls, my plates. I want to use coconut shells for my spoons and things like that. But I need to get to a place one day where I have the property and have the time to do it. But I think a lot of us in some of our lifestyle designs is just we're so busy. Well, and also, I tried doing everything, and it was killing me.
You're a single dad. It was killing me. You're a single dad or a person living alone. I lived with roommates off and on the last 10 years, and I insist on not doing that, so I make it my job. I'm not putting it down or not lifting anything up. I'm saying I make it my job to use not paper.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't care what anything else, and I didn't do it gripingly or anything else. It's like I made sure I washed all the dishes and kept everything up, and like it just was a thing. So if it's a thing for you, but I also appreciate the idea that now we have so many other things available, like bamboo, much more sustainable than trees, and the bamboo. I really feel like. And biodegradable stuff too. So things going to the landfill at least are biodegradable.
Well, I'd rather see people, I don't know if you agree with me on the philosophy of this, like I'd rather see people use paper plates and bowls to do and not have to spend that time washing that, and apply yourself to not doing some very sick shit. Like when I think about it, like we're worried about global warming, we're worried about money, recession, Great Reset, and all these, like there's a lot of toxic shit that we do in our lives that is way more. I'm not saying that we're supposed to justify paper bowls and paper plates, but if you can utilize that to apply that energy towards some of the bigger, badder issues that we have, and then also to save money and get yourself off where like I said, you're off for good, and you can actually make it cheaper and more convenient than using paper bowls, paper plates. After you're away from the monetary system, having to work so hard, pay taxes, and worry about your bank account getting hacked, and electrically charged sexual devices, headlamps and buttons and knobs and esoteric things that you never. Okay.
I was even worse than you. Is like. I know I wanted to eat healthy, but I was working such long hours and doing construction, so tired. I bought frozen dinners like Amy's and all those, all that organic stuff, and just fucking straight up put that shit in the microwave, eat it, throw the whole thing away. I didn't even bother putting it in a paper plate.
But it doesn't have to be forever, right?
No, it got me where I needed to go.
Sometimes it gets you to where you're going.
Got me where I needed to go, and I knew that. And you know what? The thing is, the most important thing is, I didn't do it just carelessly. Every time I did it responsibly, and I was like, okay, not where I want to be, but I understand, and it'll get me where I need to go. Whereas there's so many people who are just like, oh my God, totally just use your paper plates. Like, why would I wash dishes if I don't have to, Just it's a conscience, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but alleviate that conscience when you know that you're doing you're working towards something.
But that's not what I'm trying to say. Is it's not a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not forever.
It's a temporary situation to get you where you need to go.
I never thought of it though too. Like me being a single dad, if I get sick or something happens, and like, you know, those days where you're like, I've had the flu, or I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm gonna fucking die. And you got to feed the kids. And if you're not gonna like have them there to where you use it for sick days or bug out or whatever you're doing, like a catastrophe happens or something like that. I mean, like at a catastrophe, we're talking about water. You want to conserve as much water as you can to keep yourself bathed and clean. You don't want to use it wasting on dishes. So we can utilize that as a emergency backup thing. Yeah. And for when you're tired and some days where you're just fucking stressed. Or you can just wash your dishes when you do have the energy, but just always keep that there. It's just like a little bit of a buffer helper.
There's also the thought of, you know, not being so neat and tidy. You just eat straight out of the pot you cooked it in.
I don't know if everybody's cowboy
a big
like
spoon. Oh, I'm just suggesting. You know, I do that a lot. I'll cook something in a fry pan and eat it right out of the fry pan. Eat it right out of the pot I cooked it in. And like here's the thing. One of the things ways I save money is like if I'm reheating something. I hate to use microwaves, but I'll use them if I have to. But if I'm reheating something, I just get the temperature up, got a lid on it. I'll take it and just set it off to the side and let the heat of the pan, because I'll set it like sitting in like a little bit of some cloth of some type, maybe a dish towel or whatever, and the heat of the pan will continue to heat it. So I'm using less energy. Yeah. And then it heats up, and I eat it right out of the pot. So now I have one thing to wash. So to me, I look at that, I'm like, come on, you know. Like, again, I live alone. So, you know, I'm not going to sit there and like go, I have to have a paper plate or a bowl because it's all this work. I'm like, and half the time I just get like a paper towel. The only time I use paper towels is greasy messes. But get a paper towel and wipe the inside of it out, and it's done. I don't use water.
And I hang my paper towels up too. Like if I use them with the sanitation spray I was talking about to wipe down my counters, I'll just hang it up and then I use it to wipe my face because it's all clean. Well, I would say warn people though is once you get into this kind of mentality, it's addictive. You start finding like where the hell else can it becomes a game. Like most people are addicted to video games. Like where can I buy? How many times can I use that paper towel? You know, and after you're all done and it's all greasy. Guess what? Grease lights up on fire. Use a fire. Use it to start fires. My favorite was my grandfather. I come in the kitchen and it's wintertime and no central heating or cooling. And he made breakfast for all of us, and my cousin was sleeping. And he had a little candle underneath, and it was lighting up. It was underneath of course, a stainless steel plate. But it was heating up the kitchen and also keeping his food warm and gave light because it was like about 5 a.m. Yeah. I was just like, our family we're like a bunch of Mongolian.
We come from Russia, and my parents, your grandparents, went through the Great Depression, and so we were raised with people who pinch those pennies till they scream. And then I was always like that because I insisted that I was going to be a stay-at-home mom. That's why I had kids, is not to go out and spend money so they work really hard so they can have name brand clothes. It's like, no, you're gonna get homemade everything, homemade clothing, and you name it. So I could be home raising my own kids. You know, that was just my style. So, yeah, when you're raised that way, it's certainly a lot easier, I imagine. I can't imagine if you're not raised that way. It must be a real trial to try to get a grip on what it is to live that way, to live with less.
I look at that, too, like the paper plate factor is what I call it in my life, is like, if you can spend time with your kids a little bit more right now, you know, you're never going to have this chance again. You know, they're going to go off on their own, and just things like that. Anything you can do to...
maybe all of you wash dishes together and laugh and talk and enjoy.
Are you kidding me? I can't get those little crap balls that do a damn thing that lift. No, I love my kids. I'm just kidding. I talk shit about them all the time.
Told you, man, an AK-47 goes a long ways.
It's just cooking spray.
Yeah.
I heard the black market with body parts and stuff, you know?
Oh, yeah, that cleaner you were talking about earlier with the hydrogen peroxide and the vodka in it, just straight up in the eyes.
Yeah.
I'll never do that again.
It washes the dishes or it gets the disinfectant spray.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you know, you're disinfecting them.
Is that what happened to me?
Oh, we wouldn't go into what happened to you.
Well, God damn it, I hate doing these shows so short. We're almost going on an hour here, and that's going way over my budget. They only allot me amount of time.
We touched on a lot of subject matter, though.
I hope we've inspired you guys, though, to look and go, hey, we given you guys some really good stuff, and then we even went to the weird spot, like we said. No, let's fuck the planet up. No, not quite fuck it up. Let's use paper towels and paper plates like that, and alleviate some of the stress. Use it for emergencies, but
the last thing I want is anybody to feel bad about themselves. Like the whole thing is learning how to live with less is not about beating yourself up. It's about doing yourself a favor for your sake. Is like you want to live with less and live simpler, even if there aren't hard times. So that you don't have to work so damn hard. Mm-hmm. So you can have more time to do whatever, even if it's just rest or, do the things that you love.
I would say, like, one of the benefits that you get, I think you have to be a fucking weirdo to not feel this, but when you do things like this, where you save the planet, like, looking at my job where I put reflective roofs on, how much CO2 I've removed from the planet, how much I've saved the oceans for no runoff because the product I use doesn't degrade. Silicone roofs, they keep the buildings cool so they don't have to use so much energy, but also the water's completely clean. You could drink the water off naturally. Of course, if you wanted to, you got to put it through filtration, but just these things that you do, and all of them add up, and you don't really see them.
Yeah.
Because you can't see the fucking turtle that you saved because you're using a stainless steel straw. You can't see these things. But you feel them. Yeah. And when you have that, it's like a bank of confidence of yourself, where you're like, I always think about it like your dying day, and you're put before whatever forces you believe in or something, or even if you had to face yourself, and you looked at it and had to replay your life back and go, what did I do? And I'm sure there's a lot of shit we all fucked up, and then you look at this stuff and go, how many fucking penguins, polar bears, and poor icy cold Russian people having a simple squirt guns in Russia. How many things that I've saved and made a difference? No, seriously though. But you feel like so good. That stuff that money can't buy.
Well, there's also
and what the hell?
It's time for all of us to recognize that we need to leave the planet in a better position for future generations.
Okay. We got my daughter being delivered right now. It is my birthday. And happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday.
We're drinking mojitos. And we're going to come right back. We're gonna be right with you. There's my daughter. Hey, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you guys got something out of it. And if you guys find this useful and you got any questions, it's upinitshow@gmail.com. Just feel free to email us and tell us how ugly we are, or how stupid we are, or how great we are and awesome like the rest of the people. And if you guys like it, it's Up and In a Show. I mean, it really helps it out too, I wanted to say. If you guys review the show or give it a thumbs up, like I said, only if you feel like it's really giving you some value. Only. I don't want people to come in and say, oh, we just like the show. But if it gave you value and you really feel good about it.
And maybe what you'd like to hear about more.
And what you'd like to hear about. Yeah, message me, upandinitshow@gmail.com. And you guys can check out the show Up and In It at TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere where they'll let us blabber our mouths off. And as we always say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up. Live it, love it, own it. And own it, my friends.